want to ask this one question. Is your child respecting you or is fearing you? Let me come again. Is your child respecting you as a parent or your child is fearing you? So today still I want to take this opportunity to once again welcome you all onto this YouTube channel. And I want to thank you for keeping the comment section alive, for your comments. Let us keep the comments. Let us keep all those comments still coming in. I want to thank you for sharing and for subscribing. And thank you for sharing and subscribing onto the YouTube channel. Keep sharing. I know this information is helping someone out there. And at this moment, I would like to remind all of us that every week I would be sharing a video about particularly parenting. And if you find this information useful to you, please consider subscribing onto this YouTube channel, and I'm really sure it will be of help to you. Watch this video to the end, because the end of this video is going to reveal to you something unique. It will show you how fear and respect affect the raising of our children in different families, in different parents, and you're going to see how does fear and respect affect us during raising of our children. Two things that I'm going to speak about, and the first one that I'm going to speak about is fear. Fear. Let me repeat again, it is fear. That's the first thing that I'm going to speak about. Fear is being afraid of the consequences, and therefore you decide to do something simply because you fear, simply because you want to you fear that there will be harm or there will be rejection or something like that in case you don't do it. In case you don't do it, I want to share with you this story about a child that I taught in the names of Joshua. Joshua one day was washing the plates at home, and as he was washing the plates, it so happened that accidentally he broke one of the glasses that dad had just bought, and Joshua was worried of what will happen next. So what he decided to collect all the glasses with his hands, pushing them away first, because so that no one can see them. In the end, he ended up cutting the glass, and the glass ended up cutting the hands and all that, and he was bleeding. And at the same time, particularly the mother had that he had broken the glasses. So the mother came to check on what happened, but instead of Joshua explaining what happened, he was silent and his heart was racing, not because he could not speak. He was able to speak, but he was worried of what next is coming. So because of that, Joshua was humble, waiting, because he knew that anytime he may speak and a slap comes in. If you look at such a situation, Joshua was able, in case he was given chance, was able to speak and saying, "I'm sorry for what I did, mom, and I did it because of this and this." But because of a fear he had of what next, he wasn't able to speak out, either even to say sorry or even to say something of that kind. So he just ended up keeping quiet, and simply because of the fear that he had, fear of the mama, and didn't know what will happen next. And many times the children that we are raising, they end up hiding things, not because when someone is in fear, and instead of opening up, they end up hiding things, hiding the mistakes that they make, and in the end, we don't, whereby after them making mistakes, we need to correct them as parents, but because of the fear that they have, they end up hiding those mistakes simply because they fear the punishment of those mistakes that they have done. And because of that, they end up being anxious when they are around us, being anxious, not knowing of what will happen, Then also they try to avoid some things. In case there's something that they're supposed to do, they try to avoid them simply because they know if I do any mistake, something may come out, and either I may be punished, something of that kind. So that is particular about fear. So when the child is in fear, he will not be able to express themselves and be able to speak freely, be able to express themselves in case they have any complaint or anything that they would like to speak about. A child cannot be able to speak simply because they have that fear inside of them. Particularly, the second thing that I wanted to speak about, I said the first one is fear. So the second is what it is respect. Respect is about value and honor. You listen, you care, and consider someone simply because you respect their position. You respect their position. You have trust in them and growth. You have respect their position. You consider their thoughts and you recognize their worth or wisdom. And then respect creates what we call trust. It creates growth and connection. I don't know which example I can give, but most of the time, a child who respects a parent is a child who is able, in case he has anything that maybe he could be having something that is going through and like to openly share it with a parent, that child openly goes and speaks out to a parent, like opens up freely. It's not because opens up freely and talks about about whatever that is being disturbing them with a parent and is able to open up truly. There is one person that said that fear controls behavior, but respect shapes the heart. So, where fear controls the behavior of someone, like maybe of a child, because they are fearing you in your absentia, they will be able to respect and do things that you want them to do. But in your absentia, they are going to misbehave. That is why, particularly, you see in most of the families that when dad or mom is not around, the family that like the things at home are disorganized. The kids are the ones who are at home. Like things at home are disorganized and everything is apart. But when they recognize and they say, "Oh, mommy and dad comes back at this time," they are particularly setting up things in order so that when mommy and dad comes, find things in order. That is not respect. That is fear. So, as I was speaking of these two things, in while in parenting, parents we need to discover. We need to try to see how we can look at these two things differently. That is, I respect and fear. Because if a child is having fear, particularly, is you're not going to understand the child you're raising as a parent if they're still having that fear for you, because they're not going to be open with you. They're having a lot of things that are going to hide away from you. But then if a child respects you, that child is able to come up to you and open up to you. One thing, let me share this story that for us when we were still young, and when I was still young, me and my sisters, this is something that really happened, particularly my family, and this is how we always solve issues. When we had issues with me and my sisters, maybe you've broken you've broken a plate, you've done something that is wrong, and mommy and daddy are away. You make sure that when mommy or daddy comes back, you are the first to go and greet them. After greeting them, you report to them and tell them, "Mommy, forgive me, I broke a plate, forgive me, I did this and this." And immediately you report yourself. The fact is, a parent would say it is fine, but never repeat it. There will be no punishment for that. So that one always kept us to, in case you do a mistake, it always kept us in, I don't know which word I can easily use, but it always kept us in like with our parents, when you understand, when you know that something, now when I've done something wrong, I don't need to wait for my parent to come and look for me and ask who did this and this. I report myself, because if I report myself, it means I'm feeling bad for whatever that I have done, whatever that I have done. So as I finish up, children listen when they are afraid, but as I finish up, if your child only listens when he's afraid, you're raising silent, not respect. That is the fact. It's one thing I want to tell you as a parent. If your child only listens when you're afraid, when you raise their voice, when you raise your voice as a parent and you speak to them, that's when they listen. You're raising silence, and it is not what? It is not respect. But if your child can come to you even after making a mistake, that is what we call true respect. If your child can come to you and say, "Daddy, mommy, auntie, whatever, whoever is raising them, and say, I made a mistake and I'm sorry," then that is what we call the true respect. I don't know if we can try to understand and distinguish between these two things, but they are essential. And one of the things that I try is to keep parents far away from what? From the children. So respect and fear. Let us try to distinguish these two things. And as a parent, I'm leaving for you this question as I finalize. Ask yourself, do my children respect me or they fear me? And in case they respect you, you thank God that you're raising people that respect, and they'll also be responsible. But in case they fear you, then you've not yet known the children that you're raising, simply because they are hiding a lot of behaviors behind you, simply because they fear your reactions. So try to come and recognize and understand which type of children you are raising. As I say that fear creates a barrier between your communication as a parent and and your child. So let us try to recognize and distinguish between fear and respect, because once our kids are grown, once our kids grow in fear, there are a lot of things that we are going to keep away from them. There are a lot of things that as parents we are not going to understand from them, simply because they will be wanting to live a life that you wanted them to live, not to live their life under your guidance as a parent. But when they are respecting you, you can be able to share ideas with them, and even when they grow up, they'll be able to come to you freely simply because you were someone who is understanding and you really shared ideas with them. So as I finalize, let's go into the comment section. First, try to speak about, let's go into the communication as we speak about these two topics, fear and respect.